In the headlines, police in Taraba arrest Cameroon's Ambazonian fighter in the state. INEC holds emergency security meeting after attacks on its facilities in Osun and Ogun states. As Naira appreciates, Nigerians speak on raging controversy over Arabic inscription on new Naira note. And Ethiopia says 70% of Tigray under government control. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. Taraba State Police Command on Thursday said it has arrested a suspected fighter of the Cameroon separatist group Ambazonia in the state. State Commissioner of Police Abimbola Shokoya confirmed the development in Jalingo while speaking at a dialogue meeting with political parties in preparation for the 2023 general elections. Abimbola disclosed that the suspect, Gerald Basile, was nabbed in Kurmi local government, which is one of the border local governments with the Republic of Cameroon. The CP also disclosed that the suspect, before his arrest, had been terrorizing the border communities of Taraba and Cameroon with his group and promised to ensure the arrest of the gang members while the investigation for his prosecution continues. Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has on Thursday in Abuja inaugurated the youth wing of his campaign council. He says President Buhari's alliance with Bola Tinubu will collapse. The former vice president also charges on them to work towards sustaining the country's hard-earned democracy and mobilize like minds at the grassroots for the realization of the PDP's electoral victory in the 2023 elections. Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The PDP presidential candidate, who recalled how pro-democracy activists and politicians paid the supreme price to return democracy to Nigeria, says his party is the first to inaugurate the Youth Council, which is critical to realizing electoral victory.
This democracy, some of us fought it in all our lives. Many of us have sacrificed their lives. And today, you have a freedom of speech, you have freedom of movement, you have freedom of want, you have freedom of everything, simply because some of us have sacrificed their lives to make sure there is democracy in this country.
While lashing at the ruling All Progressives Congress APC for what he called dashing the hopes of Nigerians, Atiku Abubakar promised to run a government that will provide the citizens opportunity to realize their potentials.
PDP is the only political party. APC is not a political party. It's an alliance between CPC and Tinubu's party. It is an alliance. And we have seen how alliances in this country have disappeared overnight. I don't believe APC will survive after this election. We are going to vote them out. And by the time we vote them out, they will be dead.
Various youth support groups were at hand to reaffirm their solidarity and commitment to the PDP's candidate presidential bid. The campaign council was told to embrace an issue-based campaign and not to engage in activities that could jeopardize the peace and stability of the country. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu says he will boost the contribution of the solid mineral sector if elected president come 2023. Tinubu said this during a town hall meeting with mining and agro-processing stakeholders in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as reported from our studios.
Addressing miners in Lafia, the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu said the solid mineral sector contributed less than 1% to the nation's GDP in 2020, adding that there is need to increase the amount every year.
In collaboration with the state and the private sector to bring rapid development.
The former Lagos State Governor said he would prioritize the resuscitation of the nation's economy through the development of the solid mineral sector, stating that the nation is richly blessed and can cater for itself. The national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu, said the party is hopeful of victory due to its achievements in the last 7.5 years and told the presidential candidate to get ready to occupy the #1 seat of the country in 2023.
So that 29th of May 2023, we have an APC government that Buhari will transfer out. Are we on that same?
Governor Abdullahi Saleh of the state told the presidential candidate that miners in the state are contributing hugely to the economy of the country, while Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State and Director General Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council said the party candidate is fully aware of the challenges of every Nigerian and remains committed to tackling them headlong if he emerges the president.
One day, Your Excellency, you will see when we are going out there, trying to commission the huge factory that these gentlemen actually put through today, that Nasarawa State is benefiting.
These are issues that our presidential candidate, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is fully aware of and have vowed to address squarely during his tenure. He has captured this in his manifesto, renewed with detailed strategies of implementation.
Other speakers, especially the miners, called on the APC presidential candidate to fulfill his promises of supporting the mining sector for the overall progress of the economy if elected.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has warned that checkmating violence in the 2023 elections would largely depend on the way regional and state security outfits are stopped from interfering in political activities. The Inspector General spoke on the state of security in the country and preparations of the Nigeria Police Force for the 2023 elections on Thursday. Reacting to the recent incident in Borno State when the convoy of the People's Democratic Party was allegedly attacked, Baba clarified that the police public relations officer in the state may not have had the full picture of the incident in his initial report. Kainde Amodu reports.
Campaigns in some parts of the country have already been marred by violence, while there are allegations that some state and regional security outfits are being used to stifle opposition. But the Inspector General of Police says it takes two to tango, hinting at the fact that the violence can be traced to politicians. Acknowledging that the 64 security outfits that have been created by different state governors for different purposes have attained some success in tackling crime, the police topman is warning that they should not be used for politicking.
The crime prevention and space is so wide that we are encouraging everybody to come in, and that is why we said policing is something that requires the contribution of everybody. So while these outfits have been created to checkmate crime and criminality, we have also told them that they are not to be used for politicking or to be used for political reasons.
There have been attacks at political campaigns in Kaduna, Rivers State, and recently Borno State, in which the convoy of the People's Democratic Party was allegedly attacked.
The assessment of the state public relations officer might not be completely conclusive, as he reacted to what had happened very quickly. And I think we have a total team that will assess what had actually happened and the extent of what had happened based on various presentation that is coming out from members of the public, from the APC, from the PDP, from the police. So you need to have more information.
Speaking on travel advisories given by foreign missions on the security situation in the country, the Inspector General of Police says the warnings were not dismissed as mere alarm.
The government has not dismissed what had happened because they have also informed us of what they foresee as threats. And we, on our part, also looked at what they put as threat as something that has been with us, and efforts are being made daily.
The welfare of the police as regards to accommodation and kitting have been covered extensively during this discourse. And it seems some of the issues thrown up may not be readily solved because of the budget envelope given to the force on an annual basis. The funds, according to the Inspector General of Police, are simply inadequate to cover the quantum of expenses that go into running the Nigeria Police Force. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Moving on, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is holding an emergency security meeting in Abuja on Friday over attacks on its facilities. It is convening the meeting following the latest attacks on its offices in Ogun and Osun states on Thursday. Now, with Thursday's attacks, the INEC has suffered 47 attacks on its facilities and offices since February 2019. Hoodlums on Thursday set an office of INEC at Iyana Mortuary, Abeokuta, Ogun State, on fire, leaving a total of 65,699 permanent voters' cards destroyed. The hoodlums, numbering about 8, scaled the fence to gain entry into the premises of the electoral body. A security guard at the facility, Aziz Hamzat, was said to have made a distress call to the police around 1 a.m. on Thursday. A reporter gathered that the store registration area and conference room were affected by the fire. In Osun, suspected hoodlums on Thursday set on fire the INEC office in Ede South local government area of the state. The hoodlums, it was guarded, left immediately after setting the office located at Oke Rishi in Ede ablaze. It was gathered that residents trooped out and put the fire out after the arsonist left the premises. You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up, how women are embracing male-dominated profession. Details of this after the break. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Our top stories. Police in Taraba arrest Cameroon's Ambazonian fighter in the state. INEC holds emergency security meeting after attacks on its facilities in Osun and Ogun states. Moving on, aviation unions have threatened a total shutdown of the industry over the federal government's plan to demolish Lagos headquarters annexes of major aviation agencies, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA. Daily Trust reports that there has been an uneasy calm over the move, which the union said would make thousands of the workers without officers. The Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sidika, had in the peak of COVID in 2020 directed the aviation agencies to relocate to Abuja despite not having befitting officers. The Secretary General of Noati, Ocheme Abba, who spoke on behalf of the unions, observed that for very inexplicable reasons, none of the minister's projects had been delivered to date, against which reason he has been in a frenzy to deliver the projects for an administration that is at its twilight. He said this rush to deliver at all costs has caused suspicion and a plethora of missteps, which he said, if not corrected, will spell doom for the aviation industry. The federal government said the closure of the Eko Bridge in Lagos for comprehensive rehabilitation was in order to prevent any danger to road users. Minister of Works and Housing Babajide Fashola, who inspected the bridge, said while the federal government recognizes the strategic importance of the bridge, which links Lagos mainland to island, there is need to protect the public from any form of accident. This is just as the minister tasked the Lagos state government to immediately remove all residents trading and living on the bridges, disclosing that there had been a series of fire incidents in several bridges in the state. He listed the various bridges that had been gutted by fire to include 2 sections of Eko Bridge, Marine Bridge at Apapa, Obalende, among others, describing the fire incident as one too many.
We must, as a people, come to an understanding that under bridges are not marketplaces. And we have reached a point where I think the best words to describe it is tough love. Because if we do not show tough love, one day those columns are going to come down and they are going to kill people very, very extensively. I don't want to be here picking bodies, mangled and dead bodies under tonnage of concrete, but we are slowly getting close. So we're reaching the point where we're telling the Lagos state government now, you have our support, you have our encouragement, and we will work side by side with you to remove all the residents who use under bridges as places of trading. They're not places of trading.
Important for you, the pressmen and women, to also let people understand we are destroying our lives by the way we've decided to live our lives. So if you go and cook under a bridge, you are making money. So, but when we clear them, people will say you are denying people of their livelihood. It's not like that. It's that you don't live your own life by destroying other people's lives. Like we said, you can see, if these actions are not taken, this bridge will collapse. It will collapse and people will die. And we all complain that it's traffic hold up. Well, see that we've shut down a lot of bridges. That's why everybody's on Third Mainland Bridge now. And there's massive, and it's not going to get better. So we must decide to live the right way.
By May, we should reopen that part of the bridge back to traffic, yes.
Now, the adage that the woman's place is in the home or kitchen seems to be fading away as girls are gradually getting more involved in male-dominated professions in Nigeria. In this special report, some female apprentices share their experiences with Nafisa Bello on why they opted to be in a male-dominated industry.
In Nigeria, the art of tailoring, hairdressing, and catering are among the handworks traditionally associated with the female folks, but the trend seems to be changing. A visit to some mechanic workshops in Benin City, the Edo State capital, showed these girls exhibiting the zeal to try their hands on something different from the aforementioned jobs, leading them to apprenticeship in motor mechanic, a career they say they are sure to excel in.
It was part of our subject when I was in secondary school, auto mechanic work. So they taught us more. We were allowed to learn different skills of our choices. So I picked auto mechanic work to learn. So with that I was exposed to the work. So
I love this work. I passionately love it. I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel embarrassed. I'm just okay. I'm fine. Even putting on the overall, I'm okay with it. Even if you tell me to wear the overall home, I will gladly do it. Why? Because that's my dream. So I just thought of doing something different aside those other things like hairdressing and tailoring, because that was the most common thing among females and I don't like it. So my grandmom, she thought of something. She now said, what's up if I just go into something like cars here, where I use computers to check cars. So that was enough for myself. I don't know more things. I don't know many things. I'm still learning. So that's maybe once I'm truly learning here, I'll be able to stand outside because I know that I have something. I can do something. I have something else there here.
At one of the workshops, it was observed that most of the apprentices, male and female, are being trained freely. The owner of the workshop, Osaro Ogunwe, explained what it takes to make sure they take the job seriously.
So when you come, if you want to learn as a male or female, when you are learning, process of learning, you don't have to have a girlfriend. So it enables you to learn the work properly. So that is how we learn our work.
For a better and developed society and to change the narrative, it is expected that women are allowed to try their hands on any profession of their choice, instead of being stereotyped on particular ones. Nafisa Bello, Trust TV News, Benin.
A very interesting report there. Now in business, since the Central Bank of Nigeria announced that 3 of Nigeria Naira notes would be redesigned, issues around what should or shouldn't be in the new notes have dominated discourse in many quarters. Now, among the several issues is that of the Arabic inscription at the bottom of the Naira notes. So what are Nigerians saying about the inscription? Chamunda Bank has answers to this question.
Nigerians are divided on the issue of the Arabic inscription on the present Naira notes. While some are calling for the complete removal of the inscription, others want the inscription retained. Though the central bank has categorically denied the rumor of removing the inscriptions, this rumor has caused quite a stir among different interest groups, with bodies like the Muslim Rights Concern, MIRIC, urging the CBN to maintain status quo. Amidst the back and forth among Nigerians on the issue, do they really understand what the inscription means, apart from making it a religious issue?
Having Arabic on the Naira notes, I think since inception, it has never brought any value to our currency. For them to call for the removal of that Arabic inscription, I think it's about the religious perspective.
If you look at the 100 Naira, what is written in Arabic is just Naira 30. It simply means 100 Naira, right? If we have people that understand Chinese even, and you write in Chinese that is 100 Naira, well, it means it's okay. It's just a means to identify for people who are maybe illiterate in reading the English alphabet to understand, okay, this is what this money means.
The Arabic inscription on the Naira notes is not a welcome idea. Reason being that it gives it's giving a very wrong message as if Nigeria is an Islamized nation, whereas that is not the case.
The Arabic inscription on the Naira is actually referred to as Ajami and was put there by British colonials and has remained even after the adoption of the Naira in 1973. The essence of Ajami was to aid ease of business and was targeted at northern Nigerians who were not literate in English alphabet but were able to understand the Arabic alphabet. Though spelt with Arabic alphabets, the words are actually Hausa words.
70 to 80% of our poor men in the north, who constitutes large chunk of the villagers that are in charge of agriculture, that are in charge of local commerce, that are in charge of local festivities and then administration of local communities there. They are done in this type of dialect, the Ajami dialect, not in the Hausa or English sense of it. It is a unifying factor between a Hausa man a Kanuri man, a Tibi man, a Nufe man, a Fulani man. It is a unifying kind of something. It is like a pigeon. Under Section 2B, Section 18A, Section 19A and B of the CBN Act of 2007, CBN has abundance of opportunity, abundance of leverage, either to leave it or to remove it.
For Hussaini Mohammed, the question is, how does the inscription impact on the value of the currency?
This is irrelevant, very, very irrelevant. Because even if you remove it, does that make naira to dollar equivalent? If you add Arabic word today to pound sterling, does it change the value of pound sterling? No. Bring uncertainty to our the economy itself, because people, the average foreigners today believe that Nigeria is on fire. We should be talking about productivity, what can raise the value of naira, stopping corruption. Those are the issues.
For many, whether the inscription stay or not, what remains is the current struggle the naira faces against the dollar, and all efforts must be focused on reviving it. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And on the foreign scene, Ethiopia's army now controls 70% of the northern region of Tigray, a senior government official said on Friday. National Security Advisor Redwan Hussein also said on a post on Twitter that aid had begun flowing into the region, where 2 years of fighting have created a severe humanitarian crisis. He said 35 lorries carrying food and 3 lorries of medicine had been sent to the strategic city of Shire. The advisor's claims could not be independently verified, as the government has severely restricted access to the region of 6 million people, including journalists. Now, aid groups and international organizations said residents of Tigray have suffered a severe lack of food and medicine and limited access to basic services, including electricity, banking and communications, since fighting began. The government and the TPLF signed a peace deal in South African capital Pretoria on November 2nd, after a little more than a week of negotiations brokered by the African Union. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thank you for watching.